Hey, good evening. What's going on in the news? Here in California, I hear, was it Beyonce? Beyonce was, had a concert, and I don't know if it was her birthday or people were told to wear silver or gold or told to wear something, so the news was advertising Beyonce. I'm not interested in that. I really don't watch too much mainstream television like news. I have been watching movies, the movie channel. There's movies, and there's all these specialized channels. There's game show channel. I kind of like to watch the old game shows just to see how the culture acted, how people acted, how they spoke, versus today. So sometimes I'll just zone out and I'll put on a game show. Other times I can get really into these movies. They can really, I can really feel the movie, right? Get into the story or the character. And then you have Hollywood movies, like, I don't know who's behind the mask. There's people in Florida. Well, this is what I'm seeing on my social media. I don't know if I saw it on TV, but supposedly there's Nazis or neo-Nazis. Obviously Nazis don't exist, German Nazis, but there's some people in Florida waving a swastika, the swastika, which is an ancient symbol. Before it predates Hitler. He stole it from, or the Germans. He didn't steal it. I guess you could say he appropriated the symbol, the swastika. I think it's a good luck symbol, personally. It's my personal opinion. And others say that it's the rotation of the stars in the sky is the like the Big Dip. I don't know. You have the North Pole, which Polaris, which doesn't move, and then the stars, other stars do move and they rotate a certain way. So personally, without all the Hitler Germany stuff, not that I think badly of Hitler or Germany, World War II Germany. I did listen to Benjamin Friedman's speech, but my opinion on that is Benjamin Friedman's opinion and more. But yeah, the swastika. So yeah, it was kind of adopted or appropriated, kind of like homosexuals, but in a different way, appropriate the rainbow flag, which is a prism, or God's promise to never flood the earth again. So there's Nazis, supposed Nazis, that they're supposed to be bad Nazis, but I thought that Hollywood and the military-industrial complex and Jewish Hollywood, as a matter of fact, and Zelensky himself, he's backed by literal neo-Nazis. Now the Nazis, the neo-Nazis, they're going to get wrecked if they try to fight Russia. So, and I was hearing somebody in a chat I was in the other day, they're saying maybe they're trying to get revenge on Ukraine for their role in World War II. I don't know what that was, but yeah, there's a lot of quote-unquote based neo-Nazis in Ukraine. I don't want to say they're based, but I would say they are neo-Nazis, new Nazis. You know, the word neo means new. Like neocon, new conservative, new Nazi. The neocons, basically when you say neocon, it means like a war hawk, warmonger. When I hear the word neocon, I think just military conservative that's just pro war, basically. Whatever war the military wants, whatever conflict, Syria, whatever place they want to destroy for Israel. That's what I think when I hear neocon, new conservative. It's usually not used in a good, term. It's neo, new. It's usually when somebody says new this or new that, it's a bad. So both of those are bad. Like neo-Nazi, that's bad. Neocon, neoconservative, that's bad. That's used kind of like derogatory. So yeah, back to the news. A lot of people in the comments are saying these guys with swastika flags, talking about Jews, talking about, I don't know what they're just, seems like their message is not really clear what that is. You know, they're talking about, I don't know, pedophiles and Disney, I don't know. Kind of mixed messages. I saw RFK, a picture of RFK who's running for president in 1488. Not sure what that meant. It looked like a kind of maybe confused, scatterbrain message. Not really clear what some of the signs meant, or what is RFK in 1488. Picture of RFK in 1488. What is that supposed to mean? I don't know. And they had some masks on. Some of them did, a couple, then some didn't, but they could probably still be in disguise. That's what I was thinking earlier. Like, you could be without a mask and in disguise. You could have all kinds of different disguises just that look like your skin. We've all seen that, and it's just a random mask. It's another sort of mask that looks like your face, right? So that was interesting. And Ron DeSantis just passed a bill in Florida. He signed it in Israel that, I don't know, Anti-Semitism Act or Don't Say Jew. I think a lot of people were saying he passed a law that says don't say gay. But he did sign a law kind of saying don't say Jew in Florida. And he signed that in Israel. So I think you could say that much about DeSantis, that, as far as not wanting Disney to groom kids, I think that's great. I think, I just don't think anybody, political figure, should sign anti-free speech laws. And I hear that's what they did in Russia. The communists passed laws, and the Bolsheviks were the communists, and they were Jewish, and they were not Russian, and they actually, obviously, they hated the Russians. So, yeah, the Bolsheviks were Jewish, and they were communists in Russia. And I think I heard somewhere that that's what they did in Russia. They passed these laws where you can't talk about them. And then they, killed 1 million people, I guess. Or, the history of that. So yeah, World War II, I would have liked to see Russia at that time be defeated by Germany. And, Germany also had England beat. Germany didn't want war. And Benjamin Friedman goes into this. If you listen to his speech in New York, this was before Kennedy was assassinated and the USS Liberty was attacked. But before that, Benjamin Friedman made a speech saying he thought that his fellow Jews were going to try to get America into World War III. These were his thoughts, and these were sincere thoughts, not, these were very real thoughts. He believed this wholeheartedly. So, and he was a Jewish man himself, although during this speech he introduces himself as a former Jew. And he goes into the whole etymology of the word itself, Jew, which there's no J in that language or something, so the actual word Jew, Judean, very articulate, educated sounding fellow, very well versed and studied, and very opinionated, very much so that he had such a bad opinion of the group he was in that he basically wanted to separate himself from that group. So he didn't think very highly of his own whatever group, racial, ethnic, religious. He defines it as a religious group. He says it's as if the Chinese adopted Islam and then they call themselves Arab, because they adopted Islam, or they became Muslim, but obviously they wouldn't be Arab. They would still be genetically Chinese. So the funny thing about that is, I think that in the Talmud, Benjamin Friedman goes in, he says that that these were kind of bad people. They were troublemakers, warmongers, and so they just adopted a religion, any religion, so they could better themselves, right, basically. But the funny thing about that is, what religion is he talking about? The Talmud, which says Christ is boiling in hot excrement and, in hell or whatever. What kind of good religion is that? So that argument or statement, it doesn't really jive. Because let's say you have people that are not good and they look to adopt a religion, or like I could adopt a religion because I want to better myself, and I know I'm living wrong, and I find Christianity, or I find a faith, but then it just so happens this faith is not such a good faith, right? That it says, I just say a prayer once a year and then all my oaths are void. Like any oath I make, I can break. Stuff like that, right? So what are the odds that a bad people, well, I'm not saying that, he was, adopt a bad religion, basically, If you read the Talmud, it's a racially supremacist, very racially supremacist. Even if you read the Bible, you know, it talks about the chosen people, Jews and Gentiles, and these are chosen, and the rest are whatever, right? So even if you read the Bible, it talks like this. These are people who are chosen, special, and the rest aren't. I know these terms get thrown around like goyim or whatever, but that really is in the book, basically, right? That says that's what the book says. Even Christians can kind of attest to this. So what are the odds that a bad people adopt a bad religion, right? So anyways, that's what Benjamin Friedman says. I don't know, and I don't know, but we're just back to the news here. 16 minutes into the news. I was trying to watch some intellectual people, you know, people that I learn from. I learn a lot from others, and somebody who I've been following recently, he was in Arizona. He was saying that they're saying the normal temperature when it's hot in Arizona, now it's an emergency that it's hot. You know, they're taking normal weather, whether you believe, you know, I'm not saying there's not weather warfare or anything like that, but I'm saying is they're taking normal weather and dramatizing it. Like if it's 100 in Arizona, for instance, they're saying it's extreme and don't go outside and it's an emergency and stuff like that. And then, you know, I've heard other people say, like, the weather map itself, the same temperature, they change the colors. Like, it used to be sunshine, you know, put a nice little happy sun here. Now the same temperature is red and angry and it's dangerous, you see? So they're taking the same thing and they're just kind of reframing it, and they're calling it an emergency, I guess to push climate change. I don't know. But this is what I'm hearing from other people. So they're putting those pieces together, and I'm just kind of picking up on that with their help, you know, because I don't have time to pay attention to everything and pick up on everything, you know. What the feds are doing over here, or what, you know, this group at FBI, what's going on in the world, you know. There's a lot of news and a lot of things to pay attention to, but who has the time to kind of, you know, catch everything? You got, you know, you got news. And you got to live your life. You could just turn all the fucking news off, you know. Turn off your phone, read a book, write, focus on yourself. I've heard that argument. Who was it that said that? One of these authors that I follow. They don't watch the news. They don't pay attention. It does kind of distract you, right? Sometimes people are looking for that. They're looking for a distraction. They're looking for they're looking for entertainment, right? For entertainment. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. What do I want to comment on that's in the news? I guess our FBI and justice system. I know Merrick Garland is Jewish. The Biden administration. So we have a justice system that's pretty much, when I look at the FBI. Now, I don't know, when they're arresting these people, I don't know if these guys are straw men. Like, in other words, they set them up and they arrest them and charge them insanely. But it looks like we have a politicized two-tier justice system. And I'm not sure what Trump did for America. he did put targets on everybody's back. This is a fact that the government is going after people who showed up at January 6th in DC. Police officers who showed up there were fired. I remember hearing about that. Just for showing up, just for being there. So we kind of have a huge dragnet. I don't know if Trump was part of that. I don't know. Trump did a lot of bad things in 2020. Almost seems like everything he did, including not draining the swamp, including, you know, having a cabinet of swamp creatures. So now the swamp is trying to, even though the swamp technically is outnumbered, the swamp is at war with, let's see, America. It looks like the swamp is still in place. And there's a FBI whistleblower I was listening to a couple days ago. He talks about the media colluding with these agencies. They all collude together. See, we all kind of know the media, but it's like they still have this psychological power over a lot of people's minds, regardless. And you know how things work, like you could have hoax hate or hoax attacks or hoax, you know, if you say something, let's say that's, you know, you don't like, you know, let's say you say something bad about Israel, or, you know, they could have a hoax hate, you know, somebody draws a swastika or something, or somebody attacks, you know, so you have hoax hate, and you really can't tell what's real or fake on TV. And I think that's a form of terrorism. If you say, hey, this synagogue got terrorized or shot up, or even if it's fake, it's a form of fear. It puts fear in the Jewish community, and then it would put targets on anybody who speaks ill of that group, right? Or it could be Muslims, or, you know. I know a lot of Christian churches have been burning. I've heard about that. I've seen it in France, not only in France, but in Canada. A lot of Catholic church. But nobody really cares about Christianity or Christians. You can just talk all the shit you want about Christianity and Christians. And it's okay to hate on white people. Even though Jews are white, technically, if we're talking about skin color, most Jews are white, but the ADL doesn't consider themselves white, you know, even though their skin is white. Because if the ADL consider themselves white, they would not say it's okay to be white is a, was that a hate? Is a hate term or something? Saying it's okay to be white is hateful. So see, I guess a lot of Jews don't consider themselves white. They consider themselves Jewish, not white. That's why they're able to fund, when, you know, Obama was in office, all this racist stuff, racial tension movies like Django Unchained and Get Out, because they want to drive that wedge between the races, but not between themselves, because they don't consider themselves white. Even though you see a Jewish person on the street, you wouldn't be able to tell if they're Jewish. You just say that's a white person. They look white. I don't know what their ethnicity is. I don't know if they're Jewish or Muslim or their religion. I'd just say it's somebody who's looks white, is white. What do you know? And what would anybody else know? What would a black person know, as a matter of fact, for that matter, right? But yet they did fund all these racially driven tension movies in Hollywood. So I guess you just got to get a good laugh out of it. I don't know what else you could do or say. But yeah, so there's Nazis and Jewish people, Jewish Hollywood. They know there's neo-Nazis in Ukraine. They know this. All the Jewish actors who, go, Zelensky's a Jewish actor too, but all of them met with Zelensky. They know there's the Azov battalion. They're neo-Nazis, new Nazis. But I don't know. Are they against the Ukrainians now? I mean, they are neo-Nazis after all. So I guess you got to kind of square that, how Hollywood, Jewish Hollywood, supports neo-Nazis and neo-Nazis support Zelensky, who is basically a literal Jewish actor, not basically, literally a Jewish actor. So you got to try to square all these little ideas, how Nazis are bad, but we support the Nazis, the Ukrainian Nazis, because they're helping us launder billions and billions and billions of dollars from America. And they're making us fucking rich, right? But they're making America poor at the same time, devaluing the dollar. So I guess you got to make sacrifices to actually support neo-Nazis in Ukraine, right? If you want to support all this bullshit war propaganda, you got to support neo-Nazis. I don't support that. But Jewish Hollywood does. Biden does. And the military does. Because they really don't give a fuck about, and they really don't give a fuck about Ukraine. It doesn't look like they give too much care about America either. They're just order followers, and Biden is the commander-in-chief, right? Biden is your commander-in-chief. You wanted him in the office. You got him. Somebody wanted him there. Well, there he is. And here America is. And yeah, I've been seeing a lot of trash, and I've been hearing how California is basically bad, especially San Francisco. People's cars getting broken into all the time. I guess that's bad, but I guess that's also what people want, what the governor wants, what the mayor, what San Francisco politicians want, basically. So you just got to give people what they want sometimes. And they say careful what you wish for, you just might get it. But who wished for all that? Who wished for that in San Francisco? Who wished for this? All right, well, I guess I'm done reporting on the news. Oh yeah, trash. I was in a parking lot today. My coworker was saying, hey, there's all the trash, and I looked around. Yeah, there is a lot of fucking trash in this parking lot. Why? Why is there so much trash everywhere? I don't know. I guess usually there's those sweepers that come in with these trucks, and they got these vacuums that kind of just suck everything up. Maybe there's no money to pick up trash. They don't have any money to pay people to pick up trash and clean the parking lot. Just leave the trash in the parking lot. There was no trash can. I was looking outside the store. There's no trash can outside either. There wasn't one inside. And I threw my trash there. But I hear the Japanese don't have a lot of trash cans and they take their trash home. I hear good things about the Japanese culture, actually. Yeah, a lot of trash. I mean, I don't notice trash everywhere, but I did notice it today. And I was listening to other people talk about, you know, California in general, talking shit about on California, talking shit on the governor. Because I guess these tourists from Europe, they just got their shit broken into, and they're at a beach around San Francisco. They were gone 5 minutes and all their shit was fucking broken into, stolen, gone. They got jacked. But really, I wanted to say that there's a lot of good things, you know, about America, and it's, instead of picking up and going somewhere else that's not fucked up, it's better just to not fuck this up, you know. Don't fuck shit up, right? Because there's a lot of good stuff here in this country. I was just talking about going to the gemstone, the mineral show in Arizona. It's like every year. I'm like, what other place has that? You know, this is probably the biggest in the world. All these rocks and minerals. There's a lot of good stuff that America has, and it's just sad to see it get fucked up and people just leave the, well, they're leaving states now, but people will just migrate to where it's better eventually. That's what happens when shit gets fucked up places. People move, they leave to where it's better. So I think it's better to not fuck things up, but I mean, some people just, that they enjoy fucking shit up. And it just keeps going in one direction. Kind of like South Africa. That's what's happening there. It's just going down. And it doesn't look like it's going to improve any. It's just going to continue to go down that path. And it's sad to see, I guess, because it's not easy to fit in. I mean, it's not easy to rebuild other places. It'd be better if you just don't fuck it up. Don't fuck up what you got, you know? That's what I think. But I see all this apparatus, you know, all the federal agency apparatus. I think it's bad for America, a lot of it, you know. It's designed specifically for destruction, for subversion. These agencies, you know, I didn't remember the birth of the FBI, but I did see the birth of Homeland Security. I've kind of seen what they've been up to, keeping my eye on them, even though they're below the radars. But even if you got rid of the FBI, that's the thing, you'd still have the Homeland Security apparatus. And all these have agendas, and it's not a good agenda for America, in my opinion. Of course, I could be wrong about anything. But I saw how they were born. I kind of seen what they've been up to. And yeah. Anyways, I guess that's all I want to talk about is, yeah, there's some Nazis I saw on the news, or neo-Nazis. I don't even know who they were. They could have been feds with swastikas. That's a lot of people in the comment section were saying they're feds. So I don't know. But this was in Florida, and I think Ron DeSantis signed a bill in Israel saying don't say Jew. And I'm pretty sure I heard them say Jew, so if that's against the law, you guys should just check the laws, speech laws in your local area, like Florida, and before you say anything bad about a Jewish person or maybe even the state of Israel, just make sure you're doing something that's not illegal, you know, that could get you in some legal trouble. So, yeah, okay.